Do you remember a time when life felt slower, quieter, maybe even more real? Before the endless scroll, before the pings, likes, and notifications. There was a world where connection meant something entirely different. Today, let's step back in time and revisit life in America before smartphones took over, because what we had back then might surprise you. Back then, if you wanted to talk to someone, you had to actually call their house phone. And if nobody answered, you just had to wait. There was no texting, "Where are you?" or "I'm outside." You either showed up on time or you didn't. Plans mattered more because they weren't so easy to change at the last minute. Think about it. Before smartphones, Saturday nights weren't spent scrolling alone in bed. They were spent out with friends, cruising around town, grabbing milkshakes at the diner, or sitting on the porch talking face to face until the streetlights came on. Conversation was real, eye contact was natural. People were truly present, and if you got lost while driving, there was no Google Maps to rescue you. You either pulled out a paper map, stopped at a gas station for directions, or you just figured it out. Sometimes you got frustrated, sometimes you discovered something new. Either way, the journey was part of the adventure. Music was an experience too. Remember mixtapes, cassette players? Even CDs? You couldn't just tap a screen and skip through thousands of songs. You saved up to buy an album, listened to it from start to finish, and memorized every lyric. Music had weight because you worked for it. And sharing a mixtape with someone. That was the ultimate way of saying you cared. And what about photographs? Before smartphones, you didn't take 200 selfies in one afternoon. You had a film camera with maybe 24 shots. Every picture mattered. You had to wait days to see how they turned out when they were developed. And that feeling, holding real photos in your hands, passing them around the dinner table, keeping them in albums, was something magical. Today we snap pictures by the thousands, but how many do we actually treasure? Even boredom was different. Today, the second we feel bored, we grab our phones. But back then, boredom sparked creativity. Kids built forts out of blankets, played baseball in empty lots, rode bikes until dark, or got lost in books for hours. Adults spent evenings reading newspapers, working on hobbies, or talking with family. Boredom wasn't an enemy. It was fuel for imagination. And let's not forget how people stayed informed. News wasn't a never-ending feed of shocking headlines and clickbait. You got your information from the evening news on TV or from the morning paper. People weren't overwhelmed by 24/7 updates. They processed the world at a slower pace. And somehow, maybe we worried a little less. Dating was different too. There was no swiping left or right. If you liked someone, you actually had to walk up to them, talk to them, and maybe work up the courage to ask for their number. Relationships grew out of real interactions, not just curated profiles and filtered photos. There was mystery, there was patience, there was effort. And remember payphones? Dropping in a quarter to call home from the mall or the movie theater. Or writing down important phone numbers in an address book because you couldn't rely on a device to remember them for you. Our minds were sharper because we exercised them daily. Looking back, maybe life before smartphones wasn't perfect. It could be inconvenient, even frustrating at times. But it was real. People weren't glued to glowing screens. They looked up, they talked, they noticed the little things around them. Today, technology has given us so much. Connection across continents, instant answers, entertainment in our pocket. But it has also taken something, the quiet moments, the patience, the depth of real human connection. So maybe the lesson isn't to throw our phones away. Maybe the lesson is to remember what life felt like before them, and to bring a little bit of that back into our lives. Spend an evening with family without checking your phone. Take a walk without headphones. Call a friend instead of texting. Print out some photos. Write something down by hand. Because sometimes the most powerful way to move forward is to look back and remember what we've lost. This was America before smartphones, a world we forget. But maybe it's a world we still need.